All right, so if you just watched the last video, I did number 11. If you haven't seen that one yet, it's a really good example of a radical equation that involves an extraneous solution, so you're going to want to try that one out. The next one I'm going to do is number 12, because that was requested by most of my classes today. So this one says, what is the solution set of this equation? So you'll remember this lesson, or this from our lessons on rational equations. We can't simplify this until we get rid of all of our denominators. And the best way to get rid of the denominators is to have every numerator contain an element that's in the denominator. Another way to say that is I'm going to multiply every term by whatever the least common denominator is. So in order to show us what that least common denominator is, I'm going to factor this right here. This denominator, if I double bubble this, will give me x minus 4 and x plus 3. So now once I've done that, it's kind of easy for us to tell that our least common denominator is actually going to be this entire expression, because x minus 4 goes into this clearly. Here it is. X plus 3 goes into this clearly, and this whole thing goes into this clearly because it actually is this. So if this wasn't a multiple choice question, I would just start multiplying each of my numerators by x minus 4 times x plus 3. Each one of them. And the last one. And what's going to happen when I do that is I'm going to have a bunch of fractions, and I'll actually write it out so that you can see it. So again, if this wasn't a multiple choice question, we would have to solve. And at this point, the reason we did all that work is because we can start to see the things that are going to cancel now in each of these expressions. We picked a really nice thing to multiply everything by because it contained an element of each of our denominators, and now all that stuff is going to cancel. So now you've left yourself with x times x plus 3 minus x minus 4, can't drop that parentheses just yet, equals 28. And let me just scroll up. All right, now you can distribute. So now you have x squared plus 3x minus x plus 4. Remember to distribute this negative 1 here inside. Now that's a positive 4 or a plus 4 equals 28. Now I'm just going to take 28 away from both sides, minus 28. So lastly, I will have x squared plus 2x minus 24 equals 0. Now that it equals 0, I can double bubble this thing. So I'll have x plus 6 and x minus 4. So my options are that x could either equal negative 6 or it could equal 4. I have to test those, though, to see if that's a possibility. Now, this was a multiple choice question. So the reason I went through that whole process is so that if this wasn't multiple choice, you'd know how to do it. But really what you could just do with this one, test 4, plug it in. Test negative 6, plug it in. See which of these makes a true statement. Now the issue with when you plug in 4 is right here, you're going to get a 4 minus 4 in the denominator, and that's going to equal 0. So you're going to have to throw that one out. The answer here is just going to be negative 6 all by itself. And you can check that one to make sure that it's true.